I'm a 10 handicap.
Yep.
What can I expect to shoot today?
Well, it's not as fast as I would say it normally would be your 10 handicap. I would say, and I don't know your game, I would say you're between a 95 and 100.
There we go. All right. Thank you.
That's a green visited. Just visited. I love it. Yeah, dude, you can see it here.
Stewart is the 1999 U.S. Open champion. Oh my! What a clutch putt.
I would say the weakest part of my golf game is about 50 yards and in, and if you're going to be challenged anywhere at Pinehurst No. 2, that's exactly where it is. So last time I did not play particularly well here, but I want a little bit of a second shot at it, so I'm glad we're getting it here today. But I tell you what, this one, she's not going to be easy.
Today's a media format, so basically they're just going to shuttle everyone out to their starting hole. It's a shotgun format. We're starting on the 4th hole, which, believe it or not, is the #1 handicap. And our caddy was calling it the Thunderdome, I believe, because it's just long. It's long. It starts you. It's a long par 4, and you know the thing I love most about Pinehurst is, you know, there is no heavy rough, which could be good, but what they have protecting their fairways is those waste areas with the wire grass. So it felt good to get a really great drive down there. I mean, I hit the ball a mile on this hole. Thanks. Not bad for the first swing of the day.
I remember these guys from last time we were here. The black squirrels.
They're always hungry.
Yeah, last time you fed them a protein bar.
I got a Red Bull for him this time. I think he likes it.
Yeah, he perked right up.
He perked right up. Thin to win. Get up there. So the rain started to come down a little bit, and we were getting that real Pinehurst type of experience. You know, you got the rain. I mean, all these elements, they're just going to add to it, and you roll with the punches out here. Overall, we know it's just going to be a great day, and this is a course I remember back here in 2021 at 8-hour lunch. Let me tell you something. It feels good to par your first hole on a championship venue in championship conditions. Thank you.
Now, for as difficult as Pinehurst No. 2 is playing and plays every single day, we do have the good fortune of it is about as lush and green as you're ever going to see it right now. Just getting it prepared and ready for the US Open, which softened it up just a bit, which we will take every bit of help that we can get. But I guarantee in the next couple of days, as we get closer to the US Open, they're going to let this thing get a little bit faster and firmer, and it's just going to make this place that much harder.
Shaq.
Last time we played here, a caddy said something to me that stuck with me. He said, go where they mow. Hit it in the short grass, no matter what it takes. And that is really the key to playing well here at Pinehurst No. 2. And this is where these can really get in your head. I was so afraid of carrying it long because everything kind of past the pin will roll, and it'll actually roll all the way down to the 4th tee box. So I got very scared there. See the way my putt just kept running there? That's what I was worried about on that bunker shot. These greens are slick.
Frank, hole in one, you win that house they're building over there. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I already own it.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, that's mine.
Forgot, guys, this is Frank's house.
I was having that put in. Yeah, right.
I think Rory's having that built just for the Open.
Got a nice pool. So hole number 6, the caddies here all affectionately refer to it as the shortest par 5 at Pinehurst. It's a long par 3 with a very difficult green. And the last time we played it, I did hit the green and unfortunately just could not hold it. So this is a tough one, and if you don't hit the green, even with your chip shot, flop shot, or depending on the position where you are around there, it can be very difficult to get it close at all to this pin with the way that it rolls off. So really tough one. I would say you make a bogey here, it feels like a par, you take it, and you move on to the next. Tell you guys what, 4 over through 3 is not where I wanted to be, but we are getting a quick education, quick and dirty education out here on these greens and around the greens. That's where it's all gonna happen. So just learn something with every shot. Like I said, we're gonna just trust the process here and hopefully stop the bleeding, make a couple of pars. We could still be on track for that score we want to hit today. Hole number 7 is one of the shorter par 4s that we'll see today. However, the way that the hole is shaped makes the tee shot really challenging. The hole moves from left to right, and straight ahead of you are all of those huge pine trees. So if you end up hitting a really good but straight ball, there's a chance to run through the fairway and be into those pine trees with nothing more than a punch shot back to the green. On the other side, if you try to hug the right side, you've got a lot of waste area, a lot of that wire grass that you can get caught up in. This is the back of the tee box here, a couple paces from where we're playing it. I would imagine they're gonna probably put the pros on the other side of that little street right there.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I tell you what, 7,500 yards, it doesn't seem like eye-poppingly long, but keep in mind, it's a par 70. So it's gonna be long for those guys. So guys, last time we were here, I made a terrible mistake trying to get super creative. Mike was right over here. I'll never forget this day. I laid down in that kind of waist area to try to get a really good shot with the camera. I came up, felt like my arm was on fire. Caddy goes, start brushing those off you. They're fire ants. I was covered in fire ants. The next day, welts all up my arm, and it took about a year for some of the little scars to go away. It was crazy. So never lay down there. Not saying any of you guys would be as dumb as me to do that, but never lay down there.
Oh, you got a fly ball. Fly. Don't do it to me, Donnie. That's a green visited.
Yeah, GBR.
Just visited. I love it. All right, I'm putting though.
Yeah, you are.
Got a birdie putt.
One thing I will say about number 2, it's a great walk. For the most part, almost the entire golf course is flat. So it's an easy walk and it's an enjoyable walk. So it's great to get out there, get with your caddy, and just enjoy the walk no matter how you play, because that is definitely one of the nicer parts about this course.
Go in. One time.
Oh. Hey,
Thank
good
you.
effort, man. 8th hole, this is a par 5. They call it the resort par 5 because it's an easier one. You know, they give you this one. A good drive will set you up with a 1 handle left on a par 5 to get home. And that's what I did here. Hit one of the longest drives of my life down the left side. I had a short shot left. I ended up getting it up on the green. A long putt, but it's an eagle putt.
So guys, usually in the US Open you think rough. Well, here obviously there's no like traditional rough, but if you miss the fairway, you're in here. And at that point, it is truly an odds game because your ball could be here and have a nice clean shot even though you're in the rough, or it could be here. And they planted a lot more wire grass. All this is called wire grass. They planted a lot more of it to get ready for the US Open. So the difference in winning or losing the Open could literally be just where your ball stops rolling over here. And we've been doing every effort we can to keep it out of this stuff today.
Beauty. That's how you recover. Having an eagle putt on Pinehurst number 2, that's something else. So the goal here is just get this thing close enough that we make birdie, because birdie's gonna feel good right now.
Solid effort.
Birdie I wanted, baby. Interestingly enough, I actually birdied this hole last time in 2021. I believe it was my only birdie then. So funny to birdie the same hole, and it kind of, I guess it shows you how easy the hole probably really is. And what's interesting, it's not gonna be that easy for the pros because during the US Open, the course plays as a 70, not a 72. So this par 5, number 8, will play as a par 4 for them. So I'm curious to see how those guys will play
Hey,
it.
by the way, this is the hole they said John Daly made an 11 in the 1999 US Open.
Oh, this one we're on?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Hole number 9. If there was a hole that I never want to see again for the rest of my life, it'd be this one. I don't know if it was the bad juju going up to the tee box when someone said, hey, isn't this the one John Daly made an 11 on? And I was like, here we go. An 11 on a par 3? Why is it so hard? And you could see it here. You could see that incredible bunkering in the front. And if you end up in that bunker with these difficult, fast tabletop greens, when there's a bunker behind it and you're in the front one, it's just the recipe for a disaster. Oh, help me out. So that's what happened here. The wedge just came up a little short, kind of backed off it a little bit. You end up in that front bunker. You're not, unless you got a miracle shot, you're not getting out of here with anything better than a bogey. Nice swing there, Frank. Come on, pull it back a little bit. Yeah. Oh,
Come on.
looks so good.
I guess it's as good as I can hit a 9-iron.
I ended up really struggling on this. I triple bogeyed this hole after a birdie. So to go birdie, triple bogey, all right, it's tough, but hey, it's Pinehurst #2 in US Open conditions.
10th hole is a par 5, and when they play it for the US Open, they're going to play it at 617 yards. It's also a very narrow tee shot with those pine trees lining both sides. So you've got to be long, but you've also got to be accurate here.
Good shot.
.161, so out to the right of that.
Okay.
150 to 170, something like that.
Okay.
Josh, I hope we don't experience it, but if you get a ball behind this wiregrass, what's the play? Just smash it out?
You just gotta smash it.
That's it. That's all you get.
Sometimes it don't affect it any, and sometimes it's like, it just depends.
There's a couple places at Pinehurst #2 that can really hurt you. The first one is, of course, in those native areas with the wiregrass. If you push it through a fairway, at that point, it is truly a coin flip on what type of lie you're gonna get. So it could be possibly going from saving your par from missing a fairway to a double bogey like that. Oh, that is tough, isn't it? That is tough.
That is real tough.
You almost have to just clip that ball clean.
It's like
it
a different
clean.
planet,
Yeah.
you know?
Look, it's clear I don't have my A game today. Pretty far from it. It's a grind, but one thing I've learned is not to ever give up on a round. To keep sticking it out, keep grinding it out. It's something that I've learned from personal experience and from watching better golfers. A lot of times there's still a lot of golf ahead of you. Just stick with it, and that's what I'm really trying to do here. Hole number 11 is another tough par 4. It can play very long depending on the tee box where you're coming from, but it's again narrow. Really just try not to get hung up. Missing this fairway, you can quickly get into some of those pine tree areas. You're gonna be in the pine straw. Those trees can kick it in any direction, and really it's just a game of luck if you miss the fairway. You could be in pretty much anything, whether it comes to those waste areas or just you could be just sitting on a huge pine cone there, and you got really not much you can do. The lie is really going to dictate what you can do from those areas. So if you want to take that gamble out of it, you're going to have to hit a fairway.
So far, it's been a lot of fun coming down here for Media Day. Super blessed. Thanks, USGA, for inviting us. We've been lucky enough to come out to a bunch of US Open media events. We were at the Country Club in Brookline. We've done it countless times. We love doing it. And, you know, next year it's at Oakmont. Maybe we'll be out there, get a good view of those church pew bunkers. Place we've never been. So subscribe if you're not subscribed. We have an incredible lineup of stuff coming, so super stoked about that. 12 is a great bounce back hole. Par 4, it's short from our tees, about 360. You know, to have a really good, long, you know, near 300-yard drive here right in the middle of the fairway, you know, to leave you with a little bit home, you got to capitalize on those wedge shots. All right, thank you. All right, you know, to get up and down here for par, it was a good bounce back because some of the holes prior were starting to beat me up, and the fatigue can really start to come in on a course like this. You know, you're walking it, it's got the wiregrass and you know, all the sand surrounding it. It's got the tight fairways that you can't really dig into. So it's very different than up in Northeast. I mean, down here, the grass is different. A lot of things are different about it. So, you know, it's easy to get beat up pretty quickly if you're not familiar with this type of golf course. And this golf course, I don't want to say it was designed to punish you, but it was designed to host championships. So, you know, you get the full championship experience when you play it, that's for sure.
Hole number 13, if there's any elevation anywhere on the course, this is where you're going to see it. For the most part, the course plays relatively flat, but your approach shot here is going to be into a uphill green. There's also a lot, and I mean a lot, of that waste area on the left side. So I've been in there before, and I had that in my memory bank. My drive there and trying to stay away from it, and ended up pushing it too far right. And maybe I should have forgot about it and just fired for the fairway, because really, you miss left, you miss right, either way, you're in trouble. 14, another great shot. Driver is just on fire today. I mean, I'm very, very happy with how I'm hitting my drives. More controlled, hitting more fairways, and that's what I was nervous about coming in. I actually thought about, I was talking to Frank, I even said, I might even actually play less than driver off tees, just to play more of like a control game, but
You know, I was hitting it so great. I was putting the ball middle of the fairway on most of the holes. So that part of the game was working well. But 14, it was great to get another par here. Now I'm thinking, you know, with just, you know, maybe 6, 7 holes left, maybe there is a chance that 95, maybe break 90 on Pinehurst number 2. I don't know. Let's see.
Not firm enough, right? It's uphill.
Oh, that's gonna roll. That's gonna roll, man.
Go, keep going.
That's definitely gonna roll. Ah! I thought that was gonna get a lot closer.
Isn't it crazy?
It's
I feel like
nuts,
I didn't
man.
hit it hard enough. It's so fast. That's crazy. Even when you think you don't hit it hard enough, Mike.
Yeah.
They're
Good
so
par, man.
fast. 15 is one of the shorter par 3s at Pinehurst number 2. It's no chip shot by any means, and when they play at the US Open, they're going to play it at about 202 yards. But again, the real tough part with these par 3s, the longer of a club you're hitting into it, obviously the more challenging it becomes, and really the last thing you want to do is hit a long club into these Donald Ross greens. If you can get a wedge, you know, wedge shot into these greens, you are happy, and the instances of that are few and far between out here at Pinehurst number 2. So it's a mid-iron, and just try to get it somewhere on the green. Not that up. Slow down, slow down.
Slow, slow.
Just
Wow.
I can't get it in my mind, you know?
Yeah. Yes. What a par.
I like putting uphill.
Yeah.
16 is the only hole on the entire course where you'll get to see a little bit of water. But good news is it's not in play for pretty much anyone. It's so close to the tee boxes, you'd pretty much carry it from any of the tee boxes. So aesthetically, it adds a little something, but there's one thing you don't have to worry about at Pinehurst number 2. It's going in the water. At least we got that.
Yeah, good ball, Mike. None in play for mine.
That's no problem today. That's no problem.
It's good when something's working.
Something's
It's
working.
Good when
That is
something's working.
Everything else, I don't know about.
Yep, good ball.
Thank you. Go and run. One thing that's going to be even tougher when they play the US Open here, and depending on the conditions, if you come here and play the course, is if it gets faster and firmer than what we saw today. We had the good fortune of having a little rain to soften it up. There's a very good possibility of hitting a great tee shot and still ending up in that wire grass covered waste area. And that's because a lot of balls with these fairways, they run fast. And if these fairways start running north of an 11 on the stimp, which is totally possible for the US Open, don't be surprised if a couple of really great tee shots just keep going right through that fairway and right into a wire grass plant. Chunked it. Can't chunk it, but it's on the green. 2-putt par. Let's not do anything fancy, like I said. All right, I'm not unhappy with that. '17 might be my favorite par 3 at Pinehurst number 2, and it's really cool playing it the way we're playing it today with the grandstands up and just visualizing what those players in the US Open will be experiencing when those things are full. It's a tough shot, but it's a very fair hole. You just really need to pick a safe spot on the green, and at as many costs as you can, just try to keep it out of the bunkers. Even if you end up missing the green, in my case, I ended up coming up a little bit short, still gives you at least a chip shot up and onto it. The bunkers here, they're deep, they're tough, and this is where you could really end up with those numbers that you don't want on the card. Woo, that is fast, huh?
18th hole, championship Sunday, what the pros are going to be walking down to win the US Open. The grandstands are up, there's people out there. I got all the feels walking up the fairway. There's no other cooler experience. We were fortunate enough to do this at the country club at Brookline a couple years ago for that, with the grandstands up. It's just, you know, you get to feel like a tour player for a little bit, but with people out there on the Pinehurst, right on the Deuce restaurant overlooking the 18th, there was a large group of people there. So I overshot my approach shot behind the green, and the ball was literally 5 feet from the patio.
Hit it.
Nothing.
They're waiting for it to stop rolling before they say anything.
You know, walked away with a bogey there. No claps from the audience, though. I guess they wanted a par better, but hey, I'm just glad I didn't chunk anything or hurt anybody on that shot.
So they've got the exact hole location and the spot they marked out for us of Payne Stewart's famous putt in 1999. So of course we're going to give it a run.
That was cool as I've ever known it in June.
First hole, Pinehurst number 2. It's a tough, about 400-yard par 4, and it gives you your first opportunity. You know, if you're playing it in order, as most would do. In our case, we had a shotgun start, but if you're playing it in order, it gives you your first opportunity to see what it's going to be like trying to hit these fairways. And if those fairways are fast and firm, look out, because even a great-looking tee shot could run right through, and you're going to get your first experience of the day with that Pinehurst waste area. One good thing to know, if you do get into that waste area, it is all waste. You can take practice swings, you can ground your club, and as caddies have said to us before, we highly recommend doing that and getting a feel for it.
Go right in.
Oh,
Oh, you gave it a good try.
give it a shot.
All right.
I think one of the things with number 2 that we quickly learned is that it's not very forgiving for your mistakes. If you make a mistake, you can be in a spot that becomes very hard to recover from. So if you can try to play as mistake-free, and even if it erring on the side of being a little bit more conservative in spots, trust me, it's better in some ways to play some of these holes as if bogey is a par and take a little bit of distance out and just try to hit it in the fairways. It can really help take the big numbers off the cards, because there's nothing out here that's going to allow mistakes, and if you make a mistake, a double bogey comes into play very quickly. Anything on the green is a shot.
Stop.
Anything on the green
Stop.
is good.
Stop. And welcome to the U.S. Open.
If it's still touching
It's
green,
still see it. Yeah, you're right.
Anything on the
Yeah,
green
dude,
is a
you can see it. You're bend in there. Oh, it was really good. Yeah, good
Thanks.
touch. Anything like that in this green.
off the screen, I'll take a bogey any day.
Pinehurst number 2 is always going to go down as, you know, one of my favorites. It's a top 10 in the world. You know, I mean, it's got Donald Ross. It's got, you know, I think 14 or 15 championships played on it, with many more to come, dating back to 1901. So, you know, the history here, the history on that course, what was done on that course, incredible. You know, you get those feels. You feel it when you're out there. You feel the ghost. It's like when you play Baltusrol, you know, or a championship venue where Jack has won or Tiger has won. You feel it. You definitely feel it out there. It's a wild experience, and I'm just super fortunate and blessed that I'm able to participate in media days like this to get these opportunities. So, Pinehurst number 2, you are a beast, but I do have a special place in my heart. There is a special place in my heart for you, and I'm looking forward to the chance to come back and play you for the 3rd time. We'll see when that happens.
There's certain places it's just fun to get beat up, and this is one of them. It might not be our best round, it might not be our best score, but of course it's going to be one of our most memorable, and it's really great to test your game ahead of the US Open on a course this tough.